Nathan Cole was not special. He was just an engineer who fixed machines that made air on the Mars colony. He was 32 years old and had come to Mars after his marriage ended badly. He wanted to be alone, so he took a job fixing machines at the North Ice Caps where no one else wanted to go. Nathan liked the quiet. Out here, far from the main colony, he could work and think without dealing with other people. The red planet's empty landscape matched his mood. His small living pod had just enough room for a bed, a desk, and his tools. The walls were covered with his drawings of strange shadow creatures from his dreams. On his third day at the ice cap station, Nathan was outside in his spacesuit. He was fixing a broken sensor when the sky changed. At first, he thought it was a dust storm coming. But then he saw it wasn't dust. The air itself seemed to tear open like someone had cut the sky with scissors. Through this tear came a ship. It didn't look like any ship Nathan had ever seen or studied. Human ships were bulky and practical. This ship was beautiful. It had smooth curves and surfaces that seemed to be made of crystal. The ship changed colors as it moved, like the inside of a seashell. It wasn't very big, maybe 3 times the size of his living pod. Nathan stood frozen. His heart beat fast. His training said he should call the main colony, but he couldn't move. The ship landed softly on the red soil about 50 feet away from him. A door opened in the side of the ship. No ramp came down. Instead, a figure simply floated to the ground. It was a woman, but not a human woman. She was tall, at least 7 feet. Her skin shimmered like mother of pearl, changing from blue to purple to green as she moved. Her face was almost human, but more perfect, with high cheekbones and a straight nose. Strange silver patterns moved across her skin like living tattoos. Her eyes were the most alien part of her. They had no whites or pupils. Instead, they looked like tiny galaxies full of stars and swirling colors. She wore a simple white dress that seemed to float around her. On her head was a crown made of a metal Nathan had never seen before. It caught the light in impossible ways. Nathan realized he was holding his breath. He also realized the alien woman wasn't wearing a spacesuit. Mars didn't have enough air to breathe, but she was walking around like it was Earth. Nathan Cole of Earth, a voice said inside his
head.
The alien woman's mouth moved, making strange sounds, but somehow he understood her perfectly. I am Zara, sovereign of the Astran confluence. I have journeyed across 17 dimensions to find you. Nathan tried to speak, but his voice came out as a whisper. Me? Why me? The alien, Zara, moved closer. She was graceful, like a dancer. Because you carry the genetic sequence we have sought for millennia. In recognition of your importance, I grant you 3 wishes. But choose wisely. The fate of multiple civilizations hangs in the balance. Nathan's mind raced. 3 wishes? Like in old stories? It seemed impossible. He must be dreaming or hallucinating from lack of oxygen. You are not dreaming, Zara said, answering his thoughts. And your oxygen levels are normal. This is real, Nathan Cole. How do you know my name? He asked. How are you breathing? How are you in my head? Zara made a gesture with her hand. A small ball of light appeared and floated toward Nathan. It hovered in front of his face mask, then passed right through it. The light touched his forehead, and suddenly he could hear Zara more clearly. We have been watching your species for a very long time, she explained. You specifically have been of interest to us since your birth. Why? Nathan asked. I'm nobody important. That is where you are wrong, Zara said. You are perhaps the most important human alive at this moment. Would you like to see why? Would you like to see what makes you special? Nathan looked back at his small living pod, then at the colony in the distance. His whole life he had felt different, out of place. His strange dreams, his way of seeing patterns others missed. These things had always set him apart. Now this alien queen was saying he was special. Part of him wanted to run away, but a bigger part wanted answers. Yes, he said. Show me. Zara held out her hand. She had 6 fingers instead of 5. Then come with me, Nathan Cole. I will show you wonders beyond your imagination. I will show you why we need you. Nathan hesitated for only a moment. Then he reached out and took her hand. As their fingers touched, a warm feeling spread through his body. His spacesuit felt lighter. Your wishes, Zara reminded him. Remember them. Think carefully before you use them. Nathan nodded. His mind was already racing with possibilities. What should he wish for? Money? Power? Knowledge? No, those seemed small compared to meeting an alien queen. First, he said, I need to understand what's happening. Why are you here? What do you want from me? Zara smiled. Her teeth were pearly white but slightly pointed. Those are good questions. Come aboard my vessel, and I will explain everything. Nathan took a deep breath. He looked once more at the Mars colony in the distance. Then he followed Zara toward her ship. The door opened wider as they approached. Inside, lights pulsed in. Welcome. As Nathan stepped into the alien ship, he had no idea that his life, and the fate of humanity, was about to change forever. Nathan spent 3 days on Zara's ship. She called it the Luminous Tide. The ship was unlike anything he had ever seen. The walls seemed alive. They changed colors based on how Zara felt. The ship had no buttons or controls that Nathan could see. Instead, Zara would think about what she wanted and the ship would do it. Sometimes the ship would talk to Nathan, not with words, but with pictures that appeared in the air. These pictures were made of light and floated around him like friendly ghosts. Your ship is alive, Nathan said on the second day. They were in what Zara called the observation chamber. It was a round room with walls that could become clear. Right now they were looking at stars. But they weren't stars Nathan knew. These were from another part of space. In a way, Zara said. She sat across from him on a chair that had grown out of the floor. The luminous tide is part machine, part living being. It was grown, not built. Nathan tried to understand everything, Zara told him. She explained that her people, the Astrans, were very old. They had been traveling between dimensions for millions of years. Dimensions were like different versions of reality, all stacked together but usually unable to touch. We are shepherds, Zara said. We protect young species as they grow. Like humans? Nathan asked. Yes. Your species is young, but promising. Zara's eyes swirled with colors. But there are others who do not wish to protect. They wish to consume. These others were called the Void Heralds. Zara showed Nathan pictures of them. They looked like living shadows with too many limbs. They moved in ways that hurt Nathan's eyes. The Void Heralds ate entire worlds, she explained. They consumed the energy of living things and left nothing behind. We have been fighting them for eons, Zara said. It is a war across multiple dimensions. And now, they have found your world. Nathan felt cold with fear. Are they on Earth? Not physically. Not yet. But they influence your people through dreams and whispers. They find those who hunger for power and make deals with them. Zara leaned forward. This is why you are important, Nathan Cole. She explained that Nathan's DNA, the code that made him human, had a special pattern. This pattern was very rare. It appeared in maybe one human out of a billion. This pattern made him resistant to the Void Herald's influence. With your genetic material, we can create a weapon against them, Zara said. A biological shield that could protect your species. Nathan thought about this. He had been given 3 wishes by an alien queen with technology so advanced it seemed like magic. He could ask for anything. Money, power, love. But those things seemed small now. You said they influence people through dreams, Nathan said slowly. All my life I've had strange dreams. Dreams of shadow creatures dancing between stars. Are those the Void Heralds? Zara went very still. You've seen them? In your dreams? Nathan nodded. Since I was a kid, I used to draw them. He pointed to his arm. They looked like this. He rolled up his sleeve. On his forearm was a tattoo of a twisted shadow shape with many arms. It looked exactly like the Void Herald Zara had shown him. Zara stood up suddenly. Her eyes flared with bright light. This changes everything. You haven't just seen them, you've perceived them across dimensional barriers. You are a dream seer. A what? One who can see between dimensions while dreaming. It is an ability we thought lost among humans. Zara paced around the room. Now I understand why your genetic pattern is so unique. Nathan felt dizzy with this new information. All his life he had felt different. Out of place. His dreams had been so vivid that sometimes he wasn't sure what was real and what wasn't. Now he knew why. I think I'm ready to make my first wish, Nathan said. Zara stopped pacing. Choose carefully. Nathan took a deep breath. For my first wish, I wish to see the true form of the enemy you fight, to understand what humanity faces if your war reaches our dimension. Zara's expression changed, from surprise to respect. Are you certain? Few minds can comprehend the Void Heralds without breaking. Nathan nodded. I need to understand what we're up against. Very well. Zara approached him. She raised her six-fingered hand and placed it gently on Nathan's forehead. Open your mind, Nathan Cole. See the truth. At first, Nathan saw nothing. Then slowly, his vision changed. The ship around him faded away. He found himself floating in empty space. No, not empty. The space between dimensions. It was a place that had no name in human language. In this place moved the Void Heralds. They were vast beyond understanding. Their bodies, if they could be called bodies, shifted and changed constantly. They were like living holes in reality. Where they passed, stars went dark. Planets crumbled, entire dimensions collapsed like paper houses in a storm. But the most shocking thing wasn't their appearance or their power. It was the feeling of recognition. Nathan had seen these beings before, not just in dreams but somehow deeper, as if he had always known they existed. When Zara removed her hand, Nathan couldn't speak. His mind struggled to process what he had seen. The Void Heralds were ancient beyond measure. They were hungry beyond understanding. And they had noticed Earth. Now you see, Zara said softly. Now you understand why we must stop them. Nathan nodded, still unable to speak. His first wish had shown him the truth, and that truth was terrifying. But it had also awakened something inside him, a determination to fight, to protect his world from the shadow that was coming. When he finally found his voice again, it was different, stronger. What's the next step? He asked. Zara smiled. It was a sad smile, but also proud. Now we prepare you for what comes next. You still have 2 wishes, Nathan Cole, and we have much work to do. Nathan sat in silence for a long time after seeing the Void Heralds. His mind felt stretched, like it had been pulled into a new shape. Zara waited patiently, giving him time to process what he had witnessed. You know them, Zara finally said. It wasn't a question. She had seen the recognition in his eyes. Nathan nodded slowly. I've been dreaming about them my whole life. I called them the Shadow Dancers. I thought they were just nightmares. As he spoke, the ship around them changed. The walls of the observation room became completely clear. Nathan gasped as he realized they were no longer near Mars. Below them was a massive planet with swirling storms of pink and orange. Around the planet were rings that glowed with blue light. Where are we? Nathan asked. A system in what you would call the Andromeda Galaxy, Zara said calmly, as if they hadn't just traveled over 2 million light-years in moments. This is one of our outposts. Nathan stared at the beautiful planet below. How did we get here so fast? The luminous tide doesn't move through space in the way your ships do, Zara explained. It moves through the spaces between dimensions. Distance means little to us. She moved closer to Nathan, studying him with new interest. You are not merely a carrier of the genetic sequence we need. You are a dream seer. This changes everything. What exactly is a dream seer? Nathan asked. One who can perceive across dimensional barriers, Zara said. Most beings are limited to sensing only their own dimension. A dream seer can, in dreams, see into other dimensions. It is a rare gift. Nathan thought about all the strange dreams he'd had throughout his life, the visions that had sometimes felt more real than reality. Is that why the Void Heralds were in my dreams? I was seeing them in another dimension? Yes, Zara said, and it means you are more important than we realized. She explained that the Astran Confluence wasn't just fighting a defensive war. They were protectors of developing species throughout the multiverse. For thousands of years, they had been watching over Earth, keeping it safe from threats like the Void Heralds. We maintain distance, Zara said. We do not interfere with natural development, but we prevent extinction events when possible. So you're like cosmic guardians? Nathan asked. Zara smiled slightly. If that helps you understand, yes. We shepherd young species until they can join the wider community of intelligent life. But something's changed, Nathan guessed. With Earth, I mean. Otherwise you wouldn't be here talking to me. Zara's expression grew serious. Yes, your species is approaching what you might call a technological singularity. Your development is accelerating exponentially. This makes you valuable and vulnerable, Nathan added, understanding dawning. Precisely. The Void Heralds have already begun their infiltration of your world. Nathan felt cold dread settling in his stomach. Infiltration? How? Through dreams first, then through willing human hosts, Zara explained. Those in positions of power who hunger for more. Your corporations, governments, religions, all have been compromised to varying degrees. Zara gestured, and a screen of light appeared in the air between them. On it, Nathan saw images of Earth. He recognized major cities, New York, London, Beijing. The images zoomed in to show crowds of people going about their daily lives. Watch carefully, Zara said. At first, Nathan didn't see anything unusual. Then he noticed it. A businessman in New York glitched like a bad video. For just a split second, his form showed something else, a writhing darkness that matched what Nathan had seen in his vision. A politician giving a speech in London had the same momentary glitch. A religious leader in Delhi. A tech CEO in California. They look normal, Zara said, but they are vessels for void influence. Some know what they serve. Others think the whispers in their minds are their own thoughts. Nathan watched in horror as more and more people on the screen showed the same glitch. It wasn't everyone, not even most people, but it was enough, and they were all in positions of influence. How long has this been happening? He asked. It accelerated about 30 of your years ago, Zara said. Before that, the infiltration was minimal. Now it grows exponentially. Nathan thought about the changes in the world over the past few decades. The increasing division, the rise in extremism, the growing sense that something was fundamentally wrong with society. It all made terrible sense now. Why show me all this? He demanded. What can one person do against this? You still have two wishes, Nathan Cole, Zara reminded him. Her galaxy eyes seemed to look through him, measuring his worth. And you are not just one person. You are a dream seer with the genetic pattern we need. Nathan stood up and paced around the observation room. Outside, the ringed planet slowly turned. Its beauty was a stark contrast to the horror he had just learned. If I give you my DNA for your weapon, can you stop them? He asked. Perhaps, Zara said, but it would take time to develop. Time your world may not have. How long? Years. Maybe decades. Earth doesn't have decades, Nathan said. Not if what you showed me is already happening. Zara nodded. That is the difficult truth we face. Nathan stopped pacing and looked directly at Zara. There's something you're not telling me, about why you're really here, about why you granted me wishes. Zara was silent for a long moment. Then she said, The wishes are a tradition among my people when we encounter beings of significance, but yes, there is more. She paused. The Astran Confluence is losing the war, Nathan. We have fought the void for millions of years, and we are losing. Your DNA might help us create a weapon, but we need something more. We need a new approach. And you think I can help with that? Nathan asked, incredulous. I think you are an unknown factor, Zara said. The Void Heralds can predict our actions after eons of conflict. But you, a human dream seer with the genetic pattern, you are something new in this war. Nathan looked out at the alien stars. He thought about Earth, so far away and in so much danger. He thought about his small life, his failed marriage, his job fixing machines on Mars. How strange that he should be here, in another galaxy, talking about the fate of dimensions. I need to think, he said. Of course, Zara replied. We will return to your solar system. You have much to consider before making your second wish. As the ship prepared to jump back through dimensions, Nathan watched the glowing rings of the gas giant below. He now understood that the universe was far stranger and more dangerous than humanity had ever imagined. And somehow, he was caught. In the middle of a war that had been raging since before humans existed, he still had two wishes, and the fate of Earth might depend on how he used them. When the luminous tide returned to the solar system, Nathan had made up his mind about his second wish. He found Zara in the ship's control room, where she was studying data streams that flowed through the air like ribbons of light. I'm ready for my second wish, Nathan said. Zara turned to face him. Her iridescent skin shifted from blue to purple in the dim light. What do you choose? Nathan took a deep breath. I wish for the knowledge and ability to identify those infected by the Void Heralds. Zara nodded slowly. A strategic choice. Are you certain? Yes, Nathan said. If I'm going to help fight this war, I need to know who the enemy is. Very well. Zara approached him and placed her hands on either side of his head. This will be uncomfortable. That was an understatement. Pain shot through Nathan's skull as Zara's fingers glowed with silver light. It felt like his brain was being rewired. His vision blurred, then sharpened to impossible clarity. Colors became more vivid. The edges of objects seemed to glow. When Zara stepped back, Nathan staggered. He caught himself against a wall that pulsed with concern under his touch. What did you do to me? He gasped. I modified your visual cortex, Zara explained. You can now see the energy signature of void influence. It appears as a dark aura around infected individuals. Nathan blinked rapidly, adjusting to his new vision. The world looked mostly the same, but with an added layer of information. Zara glowed with a soft silver light. The ship around them pulsed with gentle blues and greens. There's something else, Nathan said. He could feel it. A change inside his mind, new pathways opening. Something more happened. Yes, Zara admitted. The procedure awakened dormant abilities connected to your dream seer nature. You may find you can sense things before they happen, a few seconds of foresight. It is a common trait among dream seers. Nathan wasn't sure how to feel about this. On one hand, these new abilities might help him fight the Void Heralds. On the other hand, he felt less human than before. We should return to Mars, Zara said. Your colony will be wondering where you are. The journey back to the red planet took only moments. The luminous tide settled gently back onto the ice cap where Nathan had first encountered Zara. From the outside, the Mars colony looked peaceful, a cluster of domes and tunnels carved into the red landscape. But with his enhanced vision, Nathan saw something that made his blood run cold. Dark tendrils of energy swirled around 3 of the buildings. There's void energy at the colony, he said. Zara looked alarmed. Already? Show me. Nathan pointed. With his normal vision, the colony, buildings looked normal, but his new sight revealed the dark energy pulsing around them. This is worse than I feared, Zara said. They must have sensed our presence and accelerated their plans. Nathan's communicator beeped. He had left it in his suit when he boarded Zara's ship. Now there were dozens of missed messages. The most recent one was from Kelly Wise, the colony. Director, Cole, where the hell have you been? Return to base immediately. Military transport arriving in 6 hours. Repeat, return to base immediately. Military transport? Nathan looked at Zara. There's no military transport scheduled. Zara's expression darkened. They're trying to capture my ship. With our technology, they could accelerate their infiltration exponentially. Nathan felt a chill. We need to warn the other colonists. Not everyone can be infected. It's too dangerous to approach directly, Zara said. I can scan the colony from here. She made a gesture, and a three-dimensional map of the Mars colony appeared in the air. Red dots marked the positions of people. Most dots were normal, but 3 pulsed with dark energy. There, Zara pointed. Dr. Alicia Reed, Security Chief, Paul Decker, and Communications Officer Kim Lane. They are the infected ones. Nathan recognized the names. Reed was the colony's chief scientist. Decker handled security, and Lane controlled all communications with Earth. The Void Heralds had chosen their hosts well. They've already sent a message to Earth, Nathan realized. They're bringing a military response, exactly what the Heralds want. If they capture this ship, the war for your dimension will accelerate beyond control, Zara said grimly. Nathan made a decision. We need to get to the colony before that military transport arrives. We need to warn the others and deal with the infected. Zara looked at him with surprise. This is not what I expected from you, Nathan Cole. Yeah, well, finding out shadow monsters from another dimension are trying to eat your planet changes. A person, Nathan said dryly. They took Nathan's rover toward the colony. It was a slow, bumpy journey across the Martian landscape. As they got closer, Nathan could see the dark energy more clearly. It swirled around the main administrative building. Like smoke, they were halfway to the colony when Nathan felt a strange sensation, like a whisper in his mind. Suddenly he knew they were in danger. Stop the rover, he shouted. Zara hit the brakes just as a shot rang out. A bullet hit the ground where they would have been if they'd continued. Sniper, Nathan said, ducking down. On the ridge to the left. Through his enhanced vision, he could see a figure crouching behind rocks about 500 yards away. Dark energy clung to the person like a second skin. Security Chief Decker, Nathan said. He must have seen us coming. Zara's expression hardened. She was no longer just a queen, but a warrior. From a fold in her dress, she pulled out a small silver object. It expanded in her hand, becoming a weapon unlike anything Nathan had seen. Stay here, she ordered. Before Nathan could protest, Zara was out of the rover. She moved with impossible speed, crossing the distance to the ridge in seconds. Decker fired again, but Zara seemed to anticipate the shot, twisting away before it could hit her. Nathan watched in awe as the alien queen engaged in combat with the infected human. Zara's weapon fired pulses of energy that distorted gravity itself. The ground around Decker rippled and buckled. But the security chief moved with unnatural quickness, dark energy boosting his reflexes. The battle caught the attention of the colony. Alarms began to sound. Nathan saw people emerging from buildings, pointing at the fight on the ridge. Some were already getting into rovers. Then Nathan felt the strange whisper in his mind again. Danger, coming from behind. He turned just in time to see Dr. Reed approaching. She looked normal to ordinary eyes, but Nathan's enhanced vision showed the dark energy coursing through her. In her hand was a Martian rock hammer, a tool for geological samples that could easily crack his helmet. Nathan rolled away as Reed swung the hammer. It smashed into the rover where his head had been moments before. His new reflexes saved him, but just barely. The Queen should not have come here, Reed said. Her voice sounded normal, but there was an odd echo to it. This dimension belongs to the Void now. Dr. Reed, you're being controlled, Nathan said, backing away. Fight it, Reed laughed. It was a horrible sound, like multiple voices layered, on top of each other. Alicia Reed welcomed us. She craved knowledge beyond human limits. We gave it to her. Nathan dodged another swing of the hammer. He had no weapons, no way to fight back. All he had was his new vision and the few seconds of foresight his dream seer abilities gave him. A flash of silver streaked through the air. Reed staggered back, dropping the hammer. A small dart protruded from her neck. Dark energy swirled around it, then began to dissipate. Zara appeared beside Nathan. A temporary solution, she said. It will suppress the void energy for a few hours. On the ridge, Security Chief Decker lay unconscious. Same with him, Zara explained. But the third infected one is still active, and more are coming. The sky above Mars suddenly tore open. Multiple ships like Zara's emerged, elegant crystal vessels that caught the sunlight. At the same time, massive dark shapes appeared, blotting out the stars. They weren't ships in any conventional sense. They were tiers in reality, through which the void heralds themselves were emerging. This wasn't supposed to happen, Zara shouted over the rising wind as the ships engaged in battle overhead. They weren't supposed to commit their forces so openly. Not yet. Nathan watched in horror as energy weapons fired across the Martian sky. The Astran ships moved with grace, firing beams of silver light at the dark tiers. The void responded with tentacles of shadow that reached out to grab. The ships on the ground, chaos erupted at the colony. Some people ran in panic. Others stood still, dark energy beginning to swirl around them as the void's influence spread. "We need to get back to your ship," Nathan said. "This is going to get worse before it gets better." As they raced back to the luminous tide, the battle overhead intensified. A void tendril struck one of the Astran ships, cracking its crystal hull. The ship spiraled down, crashing into the Martian surface with a sound like breaking glass. The ground beneath them shook. Massive cracks appeared in the red soil, releasing ancient gases trapped beneath the surface. The terraforming work of decades was being undone in minutes. Nathan realized with growing horror that his involvement had accelerated the timeline. The war for Earth's dimension had begun prematurely, before humanity had any chance to prepare. As void energy rained down on the planet, Nathan understood the terrible choice before him. He still had one wish remaining, and the fate of not just Earth but 17 dimensions might depend on how he used it. The battle above Mars continued for hours. Nathan and Zara managed to reach the luminous tide, but the ship had been damaged in the fight. Its crystal hull was cracked in several places, and some of its systems were failing. "Can we still fly?" Nathan asked as they entered the control room. "Yes," Zara said. Her voice was tight with worry. "The self-healing systems are working, but we cannot make dimensional jumps right now." Nathan looked out through the ship's viewing portal. The sky was a chaos of light and shadow as Astran ships fought against the void entities. On the ground, the Mars colony was in turmoil. Some colonists had managed to escape in emergency shuttles. Others were trapped, hiding from those who had been taken over by the void. "We need to help them," Nathan said. "We will," Zara promised. "But first we must survive ourselves." The luminous tide rose shakily from the Martian surface. Zara guided it with her thoughts, weaving between energy beams and shadow tendrils. They climbed higher, leaving the red planet behind. "Where are we going?" Nathan asked. "Earth orbit," Zara replied. "We need to assess the situation there." As they left Mars behind, Nathan could see the full scale of the battle. 5 Astran ships fought against 3 massive void tiers. Energy weapons flashed across the vacuum. The void tiers pulsed and expanded, trying to swallow the Astran vessels. "It's a stalemate," Zara said, studying the battle. "Both sides are taking heavy losses." Nathan watched a void tendril wrap around an Astran ship. The ship's crystal hull cracked, then shattered. In return, an Astran energy beam struck a void tear, causing it to shrink slightly. "How long can this go on?" Nathan asked. "Days, maybe weeks." Zara looked exhausted, but eventually, one side will gain an advantage. The journey to Earth took several hours at the luminous tide's reduced speed. When they arrived, Nathan was relieved to see that the battle hadn't spread there yet. The blue planet looked peaceful, from orbit, unaware of the war being fought one planet away. "Your final wish," Zara reminded him as they watched Earth from the viewing portal. "Choose carefully. The confluence has committed its forces based on my assessment of your potential. If we fail here, 17 dimensions could fall." Nathan had been thinking about his final wish since they escaped Mars. He could wish for a weapon to destroy the void heralds, but escalation had already proven dangerous. He could wish for Earth to be sealed away from interdimensional threats, but isolation would only delay the inevitable. "I need to understand something first," Nathan said. "The Void Heralds and the Astrians have been fighting for millions of years, right?" "Yes," Zara confirmed. "And in all that time, neither side has gained a decisive advantage." "That is correct." "So what makes you think anything will change now?" Nathan asked. "What makes you think my DNA or my wishes will tip the balance?" Zara was quiet for a long moment. Then she said, "Because both sides have become predictable to each other. After millions of years of conflict, we know their strategies. They know ours. We are locked in a pattern neither can break. Until now," Nathan guessed. "Until you," Zara corrected. "A human dreamseer with the genetic pattern. Something new. Something neither side anticipated." Nathan thought about this. About patterns and predictions. About being locked in cycles that seemed impossible to break. "I wish," he finally said, meeting Zara's galaxy-filled eyes, "to merge our species' knowledge and abilities, to create something new that neither Void nor Astron has encountered before." Zara's expression shifted from surprise to something Nathan couldn't interpret. "You understand this wish would change you fundamentally? You would no longer be fully human. Humanity needs to evolve if we're going to survive this war," Nathan replied. "And so do the Astraians. We're both too predictable to our enemy. They've been studying us for millennia. We need to become something they can't anticipate." Zara considered his words. "This is not a wish I expected, but it may be the wish we need." She paused. "It would change me as well. I would no longer be fully Astron." "Is that a problem?" Nathan asked. "It is a sacrifice," Zara said simply, "but perhaps a necessary one." She approached him and held out her hands. Nathan took them without hesitation, their fingers intertwined, his 5 with her 6. "This will be painful," Zara warned. "More painful than anything you've experienced." "I understand," Nathan said. "Once begun, it cannot be stopped," she added. "The process must complete or both of us will die." Nathan nodded. "I'm ready." Zara began to sing. The sound was beautiful and terrible. Notes that no human voice could produce. The ship around them resonated with the song, crystal surfaces, vibrating in harmony. Pain exploded in Nathan's head. It felt like his skull was cracking open. His body burned as if every cell was on fire. He tried to scream but couldn't make a sound. Through the agony, he felt his mind expanding, stretching to accommodate knowledge no human was meant to possess. He saw the history of the Astron confluence, millions of years of civilization, of scientific advancement, of war. He felt the weight of Zara's memories, her centuries of life as a queen and warrior. And he sensed her experiencing his memories in return, his childhood on Earth, his failed marriage, his loneliness on Mars. Their DNA rewrote itself, his incorporating their adaptive abilities with his unique genetic resistance to the void, hers embracing human creativity and intuition. Neither human nor Astron, but something new. When it was finally over, Nathan found himself floating in the center of the control room. Zara floated beside him. They were both changed. Nathan's skin now had a subtle iridescence, shifting slightly with his emotions. His eyes held tiny galaxies like Zara's. And his mind was vast now, able to perceive across dimensions without effort. Zara had changed too. Her features were softer, more human. Her skin still shimmered, but in a way that could pass for human in the right light. The crown she had worn was gone, absorbed into her being. "It worked," she said softly. Her voice was the same, but Nathan could now understand the complex harmonics beneath the words. Nathan reached out with his new senses. He could feel the void heralds at the edge of the solar system. They had paused their attack, confused by the new energy signature emanating from the luminous tide. "They don't know what we are," Nathan said with wonder. "They can't predict us." Zara nodded. For the first time in eons, We have surprise on our side. Nathan expanded his awareness further, reaching toward Earth. There he felt others like himself, humans with the dormant genetic pattern that had made him special. They were rare, but they existed, scattered across the planet, unaware of their potential. I can feel them, he told Zara. Others with the genetic pattern. Yes, she said. Through our merged consciousness, we can awaken them, create more like us. Nathan's mind raced with possibilities. A new species, neither human nor Astraean, immune to void influence and unpredictable to both sides of the ancient conflict. He reached out to the sleeping minds on Earth, sending a gentle call. Wake up. See the truth. Join us. One by one they began to respond, confused at first, then understanding as Nathan shared his knowledge. A doctor in Cairo, a farmer in Nebraska, a teacher in Tokyo, a child in Rio de Janeiro, all with a special genetic pattern, all with the potential to become something new. At the same time, Zara communicated with the remaining Astran ships. The concept of merging with humans was shocking to them at first, but as they felt the confusion of the Void Heralds, they began to understand the strategic advantage. The war will be long, Zara said, looking out at Earth, and it will reach your planet eventually. But now we have a chance, Nathan replied. Now we have hope. Over the next days, more Astran ships arrived in the solar system. More humans with the genetic pattern were awakened. The Void Heralds pulled back temporarily, unsure how to fight this new hybrid species. On Earth, governments detected the alien ships in orbit. Panic spread in some places, but Nathan and Zara were ready. They sent their hybrids as ambassadors, beings who understood both human fear and Astran purpose. The first human Astran fleet assembled in Earth's orbit, a strange mix of crystal ships and modified human vessels. At its center stood the luminous Tide, now fully healed and enhanced with the new hybrid technology. Nathan stood on the bridge beside Zara. He was no longer just Nathan Cole, the lonely engineer from Mars. He was something new, a bridge between species, a weapon against the void, a creator of hope. Are you ready? Zara asked him. Nathan nodded. His final wish had changed everything, his body, his mind, his future. It had left him speechless with pain and wonder, but it had also given humanity a fighting chance against the darkness between dimensions. I'm ready, he said. Let's show the Void Herald something they've never seen before. The fleet moved out from Earth orbit, heading toward the edge of the solar system where the void tears were regrouping. The battle for reality was just beginning, but for the first time in millions of years, the outcome wasn't predetermined. Nathan's wish had created uncertainty, and in that uncertainty lay the seeds of victory.